Hi there, welcome back to another video. So today we've got a Game Boy Advance SP. It's obviously well used, this one. It's pretty worn around the edges, got stickers all over it and everything. Goes, but the battery's not very good, so we'll replace that. So what we're going to do is we're going to reshell this one and we'll put it in a nice new blue shell here with all the bits and pieces, and we'll also put in a new battery as well. So yeah, we'll get into that. Right, first thing we'll do, we'll take the battery out, which is just a Phillips screw under here. So what we do is just undo that Phillips screw, flip that thing up, and then pull the battery out. As you can see, this one's already bulging, so we'll definitely need to replace that. Even though it's an original, it's no good, so we'll just get rid of that. We'll replace that one. And the next thing we do is we've got 4 tri-wing screws in here, so we'll pop those off now. Right, I've undone the 4 tri-wing screws there, but then we've also got another one here that was underneath the battery, so we'll just undo that one, and there's another one here right where the game slot is. We'll just undo that one as well. Right, now we've done that, pull those aside. The back should now just lift off, which it does, and you're left with the cover like that, and then we've got all the internal of this thing. So we'll put that aside. And what we do now is we get the Phillips screwdriver, and we've got 3 screws, 1, 2, 3. So we'll undo those. Right, now that we've undone those 3 screws, we can actually lift this up, but you lift it from the bottom piece because it's still got a ribbon cable underneath. You can see we've still got our rubbers are stuck there as well. We'll just pull those off. And then we've got a ribbon cable here, and all you do is you just push down those little tabs like all the Game Boys do. Push down on those, and then our ribbon will just slide out. And there is our motherboard there. It's looking fairly tidy. We know it's working, it's got sound and everything, so we don't really need to do anything with this. I might just, as usual, just give these buttons a clean, but these are the tactile ones, so just giving them a clean just makes them last longer. So we'll put the motherboard aside because we know that's good, and we'll just pull the speaker out there, and it has a little cover on the front as well. Put that aside, and then we've got one more Phillips screw underneath this ribbon cable here, so undo that. Put him aside, and then that makes that little piece fall off. That's just a hinge bit because we need to get to that. Right, the next thing we'll do is we will pull out the little rubber pieces. There's 5 of them, and there's tri-wing screws under there, so we'll do that next. Right, you can see now that we've pulled out the rubber, we've got the 5 screws, so I'll just undo all of those, and then I'll show you what's next. Right, now we've undone those 5. You'll actually find that if we close that again, we should be able to lift that off like so. And the screen comes with it, and then the ribbon cable just comes out of that slot there. And that's our screen, and then you can actually just lift this out of here as well gently. So we don't need that. We do need that because we need the hinges, but there's our screen there, and as you can see it's a bit dirty, so we'll give that a quick clean, but apart from that it's actually a very good screen. So let's get on to the next bit, which will be cleaning this and pulling the hinge pins out of this piece here. Right, I've just given the glass a quick clean with just glass cleaner. You don't really have to worry about the marks around the edges because when it's put into its new screen, that's all covered anyway, as long as your main glass is nice and clean, which that one is. So we'll just put him aside for now. And then what we need to do now is get these hinges out. Now these are a bit of a pain. All sorts of ways you can do it. All I do is I just try and sort of push these little tabs down that are here. Push them down and sort of get it moving or started. Doesn't matter if you break one or two of them, because the hinge will still sit in there properly. But yeah, it's very, very fiddly. Once you sort of get it going, get it pushed out just a little bit. Very difficult, but yeah. There we go. So that's started coming out already there. So now we have to force it all the way through. And what we can do is you can just get your screwdriver and just like so, and pop it out. And just make sure you keep the hinge on each side, because they are sort of, from the look of it, I'm not sure if they are, but always just put the left one back in the left and the right one back in the right. So I'll come back to you, I'll pop this one out, and then we'll get on to the next stage. Right, so I've got the two hinges out. So that piece is now apart, but we don't need that because we're going to use the new shell. So what we'll do is we'll grab the new one. This is what they look like when you get them. Just got to unwrap it. They put a lot of tape on these things. There you go. Okay. This is our new shell. And fine when you open this up. Oh, they've tucked it in here. I've tucked all the bits and pieces in here, which will be your buttons and everything like that. And see, all your buttons are sort of pre-installed on this, because if you take this back off, they put this little cardboard piece in here which holds everything in place, which is great. Got the power switch, even got the little LED, clear little thing where the LED comes through. But I always leave that on just until I'm ready to put it all together. Like so. But the first thing we'll do is we'll sort this screen out. So we'll just put all that aside for now. And then we'll get the screen done. Right, so we grab our old screen. And it just sits in there like so. And this piece goes on top. And you just make sure your ribbon cable's still curled through there, as it is. There you go, that fits nice. And what we'll do is we'll pop the screws back in there, and then that's our top piece done. Right, that's all screwed in. So what we need to do now is we need to put the new caps on these hinges. So these hinges just have like the grey caps to match the old case, but what you can do is you can actually just push them off like that, and then the new case comes with ones that match the new case, so it just slides back on like so. That one's done. And we'll do the same to the other side as well. Slide that off. And you'll actually see that on these pins there's actually a piece that slots into. So you can only put it on one way. That's done as well. That's good to go. So the next thing we need to do is we grab our back. Put that on here. Just take that off. So what we need to do now is attach this piece onto here. Power switch, And so what you need to do is you need to thread the display cable through there and just sit it on there like so. And then what you've got to do is you've got to line these up. These have little slots in them, and they line up with the inside of there. So that one just goes on there like that, and they're quite tough, so you've actually got to be quite rough with them. There you go, that one's pushed in, and now this one. Oh, cap came off. Put that cap back on. Oh, geez, that one's tough as. Oh, there you go, done. Oops. Make sure that stays in there. And then now when you open it, hinge works as normal. Awesome. Right, and now we put this little piece here that covers the ribbon cable. This can only go one way, like that. So it sits on there like so, and then we have that screw that goes underneath the ribbon cable, that one there, and that holds that in there. So I'll pop that in there now. Right, so that's screwed in there now, the little screw underneath the ribbon cable. So now we can close him up. And then what we do is we can pull off this bit of cardboard, which just holds everything in place. And then we need to get the speaker. And what I always do, I just get my tweezers and just pry these up just a little, just to make sure they're getting good contact on the motherboard. Last thing you want to do is get it all back together and find you've got no sound. Like that. And it just sits in there. Cool. And then we get our motherboard. And this is the tricky part. It's getting this ribbon cable back into here. So you've got to make sure those are right out. And you might have to pull that through a bit. Can be a bit fiddly, but especially when you've got fat fingers like me. But yeah, it's just getting it in there. Tucked up in its right place like so. And once it's in there, is just pushing these lock tabs up. One. Two. And just checking, yep, that's all the way in. So what we can do now is we can slowly, gently pull that over and sit that down on there. Right, that's good to go. So what we can do now is we can put our 3 Phillips screws, 1, 2, 3, back into here. Right, so our 3 Phillips screws are back in there. Everything's sitting nicely. What I do while I'm here is I just get the toothbrush and just give the volume slider a bit of a clean while you can still see it. It's done. And then we just get our power switch as well. It's here. Set that in there like so. Cool, and that's pretty much that done. And now we get our back. Now the back's already come with the buttons already in them, which is really nice and easy, and the metal plate as well. But one thing you do need to do, which I forget a lot of the time, is you do need to put the little nut in here for the battery screw to go into. It's a pain when you put it all together and you've forgotten this. It's quite tight, but once you get it in there, which I haven't, stays in there and won't fall out again. There we go. It's a nice tight fit. Just push it all the way down. Right, now that's done. What we can do, got our power switch on, we can now just sit that on and just gently just give it a wiggle and see if everything lines up. It has. And always check these. I don't know if you can hear that. So they're clicking, which is great. And what I do before I button it all up is I grab the new battery and just give it a quick test to make sure we've got everything tidied up. Battery must be flat. Battery's flat as. Hang on. Let's try this time. Yep, cool. Try that again now that we've got the sound on. Yep, all good. Right, we'll go on to the next stage. Right, now that we've tested it and we know it's working, we'll pull the battery out. That's flat. Even though it's brand new, it's flat. So we're going to have to give that a good charge. So now all we need to do is we need to put our two smaller screws, which one goes there. Actually, we'll put that one in the battery compartment. One goes there. And then our other four go into there. And I'll just button all those up now. Right, now that that's all done, we'll put our battery in, our new one. Battery cover on. And now we can tighten this up because we've remembered to put the nut on the other side. Like so. Right. Now we've got a few other little bits and pieces to do. We'll do those next. Right, what we've got is we've got some aftermarket labels. So I can pop one of those on. Like that. And then on the top, we have one of these. This comes with the case as well, the Nintendo label. So just make sure that's flat. Peel off this white sticker here. Yeah. Not made for big fat fingers like mine. Just getting them started with a pain. There we go. Make sure that's around the right way. Pop that on there. Put them in place. And they've also got a clear piece on the top. We just peel off gently. There we go, that's done. And we're nearly done, but the next thing we need to do is we need to put these little blue caps, these ones here, in the holes. Now these don't come with adhesive on them, so we're going to have to use some double-sided type of adhesive to hold them in place, so we'll do that now. So I've just bought this roll of double-sided adhesive off AliExpress. It is super sticky. It's quite a pain to work with, but it works really well for these. So I've just cut a piece off here, and we'll use that piece to mount those. Right, I'm nearly done them all, about to do the last one, so I'll show you how I do it. So this is sticky on one side. I just stick that on there, and then I just get these little scissors here, and I'd actually just trim around. But it is so sticky that it makes a horrendous mess. So I'll trim around that, I'll come back to you. Right, and now that I've done that, there's the little sticky part on the back. I find it easier to just take the whole sticky off and actually pop it into where it's meant to go. Like so, and sort of just push it down. And then peel the other layer off, the paper layer off. And then it just leaves the residue in there. Like so. And then just get our little rubber button, whatever it is, and just push it in, and she's in there for good. Like that. Just got a little bit of paper there. Cool. And what I did do, because it takes a little while to do the buttons, I did plug it in and started charging it as well, just so that we can test it, which we'll do now. Right, now that that's all done, what we'll do is we'll get one of these little carts. So I've got 369 in one. Let's pop that in. And let's give it a go. Try a little bit of Super Mario Land. That's working perfect. Nothing wrong with that. So there you go. Game Boy Advance SP. Nice new shell. Working well. New battery. Charging. And good to go. So hopefully that video was helpful for you. Just to show that it is actually not that hard to swap over a shell on one of these things if it's all working and good inside. And what I'll do is I'll leave a link for the case that I got from AliExpress as well, so you can see that. But if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel too, because I'll be putting videos out every week. This video will come out obviously on Friday, and it's quite exciting because on Friday I'm actually flying to Japan, and so what I will do is I'll be doing some videos over there as well, which I'll post up later, because we'll be buying some more games. So yeah, hopefully you'll keep following the videos, and I'll keep posting. Thank you.